Hello well-wishers and welcome to my channel Aspiring Minds. In today's video, we are going to discuss the short story by Satyajit Ray called Indigo. So grab your virtual seats and let's begin. In this video, we are going to discuss about the major characters of the story. We will learn about the indigo plants, the indigo dye. We are going to also have a detailed analysis and a summary of the short story, and I'm going to tell you in detail from the examination point of view a little bit about the indigo plantation that will help you to understand the story better. So let's begin. Now, the story Indigo is written by Satyajit Ray, who was a prominent Indian filmmaker, a screenwriter, and an author known for his contributions to the Bengali literature and cinema. To tell you about the characters in the story, we have the main protagonist Aniruddha Bose. He was a young man with a fascination for the history of indigo plantations. We have Pramod. He is Aniruddha's former classmate who invites him to Dumka. We have Uncle Mohit, an elderly acquaintance who unexpectedly visits the protagonist before he starts his journey. There's Bhola Bhabu. He is Aniruddha's neighbor who expresses his concern about his solo trip. And finally, we have Sukhanram. He is the caretaker of a bungalow where the protagonist is going to seek shelter in the story. Now, the title of the story refers to the historical context of indigo plantations in both Bengal and Bihar, which is going to serve as a backdrop for the protagonist's journey in the story and the experiences he will have. We will learn about the indigo plantations in the story soon in details. The story explores the themes of identity, fate, and the mysterious forces of the past which can influence the present. It suggests that one cannot escape the consequences of history and there may be connections between the past and the present. We will see that in the story. Now let us discuss the story in detail. The story begins with a young bachelor, Aniruddha Bose, who recounts his interest in the history of indigo plantations. Soon he receives an invitation from his classmate Pramod, who requests him to visit Dumka. So Aniruddha then decides that he is going to give in an application wherever he is working, take some leave because he had some leave pending, and then he is going to take his car and go to Dumka to visit his friend Pramod. However, before Aniruddha has prepared to set on to his journey from Calcutta to Dumka, there are delays due to unexpected visitors who come over here to his house. Now, because these people have come for the first time and etc., that is why he has to give them time. Who are these visitors? Remember, I mentioned the characters. We have Uncle Mohit. First he comes, then Bhola Babu also comes, and remember, Bhola Babu reminds or tells Aniruddha to be careful because he thinks that Aniruddha should leave with a driver. However, he does not pay heed to whatever he is saying, and then he sets on to his journey. Soon, when he has moved ahead a little bit, he sees that there's a flat tire. One of his car's tires get punctured. He fixes that and then he's become all sweaty and everything, and then he decides to set on the journey again. However, that is not it. He again encounters a storm causing another delay, and added to that, another tire of his car goes flat, that is, it gets punctured, and he gets stranded in this unfamiliar territory. It is at this time that Aniruddha finds a deserted bungalow where he seeks shelter for the night. We have Sukhanram, who is the caretaker of this particular bungalow, who provides him with the basic amenities and offers him food and lodging. However, when Aniruddha goes on to stay in this particular bungalow, it is typically known as a duck bungalow in Bihar, in Bengal areas, he discovers strange events happening, including the disappearance of his belongings, because when he wakes up suddenly because of a knocking on his door, he goes on to see that the time on his wristwatch is not being displayed anymore. Then he sees a sudden transformation into the 19th century Englishman named Eric. He finds himself compelled somehow to write a diary expressing the sadness and despair over the past actions which were felt by the character Eric. This is one of the most important parts of the story where the line between reality, that is the past and present, gets blurred, and we see how Aniruddha is compelled to read the contents of a diary, and this is what is written. So this is the part which tells you about the background of how Aniruddha changes into that indigo planter from the past. Soon after this, we see the change in identity where Aniruddha, when he goes and checks himself out in the mirror, he wonders whether he is Aniruddha or he has changed into another character, the British captain, the British officer whose disguise he takes. And there is a lot of distress and confusion as he witnesses the shooting of a dog named Rex, a scene mirroring his own diary from a century ago. The story ends ambiguously, leading the reader uncertain about Aniruddha's fate and the nature of his experiences, because it is left open-ended and vague for the readers to interpret what exactly happened with the protagonist. And one thing is for sure, we don't know whether he would at all reach his friend's house or not. Now we have Mr. Know-all, who is going to tell you about a little bit on the indigo plantations. Now, indigo plantation refers to the cultivation of indigo plants to extract indigo dye, which was historically used in textiles. Now, this dye is derived from the leaves of indigofera plant, and it has been prized for its vibrant blue color. Indigo cultivation was prevalent in Bengal and Bihar during the 19th century, primarily under the British colonial rule, and that is the reason we see that shift in identity coming, where the story temporarily shifts to the 19th century, where Aniruddha also takes the guise of a British officer. Indigo was also a lucrative cash crop for British planters who exploited the local farmers of India through their farming practices. The exploitation of the indigo farmers also had led to a lot of revolts and agitations by the peasants, which was known as the Indigo Rebellion of 1859-60 in Bengal. The invention of this synthetic indigo happened in Germany in the late 19th century and had then led to the decline of natural indigo cultivation in India. Let me tell you the Indigo Connection in the story. We have the protagonist Aniruddha Bose, who develops a keen interest in the history of indigo plantations in Bengal and Bihar during the 19th century. His fascination with indigo plantations serves as a backdrop or a background for his journey and experiences in the story. The historical legacy of indigo cultivation highlights the themes of exploitation, guilt, and the enduring impact of colonialism, which resonates in the story with the mysterious events that take place when Aniruddha encounters strange happenings during his journey to Dumka, and we don't know till now whether he at all managed to reach his friend's house or what happened. Let us quickly discuss the major themes of the story. Firstly, the theme of identity is what is dealt with in the story, and the potential connection between the present individuals and their past life experiences are seen in the story. We also see Aniruddha's journey highlights the theme of fate and the lasting repercussions of past actions, not only for individuals like Aniruddha but also for the communities affected by historical events. Further, the backdrop of indigo plantations highlights the themes of exploitation, guilt, and the enduring consequences of colonialism, reflecting the injustice that was done to the communities in the past. We also see Aniruddha's solitary journey and encounters evoke a feeling of isolation and fear, highlighting how individuals can be vulnerable to attacks in unfamiliar or hostile environments. So we see that this story offers richness in terms of themes blending mystery, psychological suspense, and historical reflection to provoke thought on the complexities of human existence and the mysterious forces that often shape our lives. Now, the ending of Indigo leaves readers with a sense of unsolved mystery. Aniruddha's experience of waking up to the sound of knocking and being offered tea by Sukhanram suggests a return to the normal life, as if the events of the previous night did not occur. They seemed like a dream or hallucination. However, the presence of the watch showing the date as April 28th, the disappearance of Aniruddha's belongings, and the eerie familiarity with which Aniruddha interacts with his surroundings all hint at something which was more deep. The story ends with Aniruddha thinking whether anyone would at all believe his experience of having transformed, even though temporarily, into an English indigo planter from the 19th century. This thought process further blurs the lines between reality and imagination, leaving the readers to think about the nature of the consequences that he faced. So we see that the ending of the story invites readers to interpret it based on their understanding. However, it also makes the readers struggle to understand and find answers to the themes of identity, fate, and existential uncertainty in the story. So that's it from this video. I hope you liked it. Do hit the like button, subscribe to my channel for more such future updates. Thank you for watching. Bye.